Hi there, this is SP Architect. Today's topic is the key elements of photorealistic rendering. Let's get started. Depth of field. You have all gone to the cinema. If you haven't paid attention before, stay away from the action of the movie and pay attention to the details of the scene. The camera focuses on something while that area looks sharpened, other areas look blurry. It is not possible to see whole scene clear if it is not an aerial perspective. As our eyes get used to see depth of field, renderings without it seem unrealistic. Use depth of field. Just focus on the object you want to get emphasized in your scene. Other blurring should increase as you get closer to the object and decrease as you get further away. Use depth of field values accordingly. Otherwise, you may encounter with a rendering as if it was a rendering a toy. Denoiser. Denoiser is a miracle. There is no longer waiting for us for renderings like before. Actually, we can't get rid of noises, no matter how long we wait. It is at this time that Intel AI technology and NVIDIA Denoiser comes to our aid. These systems provide us noise-free renderings with using our render elements with algorithm, but you shouldn't exaggerate when using it. If we increase these settings too much, it will realize our materials as noise and we lose the texture detail. Therefore, use the denoiser in balance. By the way, I wouldn't recommend using it in your animations, because they still make stain and this should be adjusted as soon as possible. Frame buffer. All we would like to adjust some color balance and light problems in Photoshop after we get our renderings. We use element ID for brightness and contrast, changing background and additional effects. We can get a good result, but you can be sure that you use these features at 10%. Because when you save your renders, entire range of color doesn't save by JPEG or PNG for editing in Photoshop. So you need to save them as EXR or HDRI format. But instead of trying this way every time, you can do all of them without the need for an extra file. Using the frame buffer, you can do exposure control without losing texture and color. Moreover, not only that, use many more features like curve, levels, white balance, bloom effect without spoiling the quality of your render. White balance. If we get a render, if the lighting elements we use are in yellow tones, the whole space will be yellow. Yes, it is normal to be some yellow, but the result seems a bit more exaggerated than real life. Balance these yellow colors by doing white balance. Choose a spot from the scene that should be white and focus on there. Try to make that region a white tone. At the same time, you can use white balance to change the temperature sensation of the ambient. For example, in snowy scenes, it is useful to have blue tones in your renderings. If your snow looks yellow rather than blue, your render will not be realistic. You can create an uncertainty in the brain of people, because the snow is cold. Exposure control. Sometimes we can't keep the proper exposure settings while getting our renderings. Although very bright rendering look us better, we lose the details in the textures in these renderings. Therefore, it is good to using ISO and shutter speed control in V-Ray camera settings. Frame per second increases as ISO increases and more light come inside and fills the camera with more light. Shutter speed is the speed of the camera lens opening and closing. The faster it is, the less light penetrates inside and your renderings will become darker. Get the right exposure as keeping these two settings balanced. Secret weapon, UVW. Yes, everyone does UVW, but just do it. It is not enough that material you put on a wooden furniture scale is accurate. Look at the furniture you own. Do research from websites. Not all aspects of wood are the same. It also varies according to the direction of use of wooden panels. If you want to get photorealistic rendering, you need to master some structure and material knowledge. Good design. The building, well designed, showed itself beautiful even you didn't render it. Do not put down the first idea you have right away. Create your own unique design by combining different designs from different sources. Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram channels and architectural books are good sources for this. Pin your favorite designs and make your compilation from these sources. You can also stock on your computer. If your design is bad, even if you get the highest quality in the world, it will not look good for you. Also, you can spend hours thinking to yourself where I made a mistake. However, if your design is good, even without rendering, even the simple SketchUp shadow created by opening the visual will look to you much better. Scale. Make sure that the scales of your objects you use in your rendering are correct. An object with wrong scale seems strange to eye and reduces realism. Every object that you downloaded from internet sources may not be right size always. So, do your research well. Verify the size of your objects you use from on their sites. Compare with your own object. If it is large, reduce it. If it is smaller, enlarge it. Feel free to render again. Camera composition. In interior rendering, especially when we take render of small spaces, we would like to show everything, because we modeled them, and customers should definitely see all of them. At least your boss thinks so, even if you don't want to, because they are not as good as you are, and you need to insist. They will be happy as you begin get photorealistic rendering. Let's get back to the topic. Instead of displaying all objects in narrow space, you can use different angles. Delete the wall behind camera and look at your subject from a distance. By this way, you can show more areas without distorting the camera angle. Remember, if there was a human eye camera, it would be 35mm setting. Navigate at values close to this. Also, note the occupancy space composition in external rendering. It is not necessary to display empty sky and repeating grass and trees. Just focus on your building and get a bit of other elements. Get some curiosity. Model quality. Especially in your interior renderings, it takes a lot of time to model everything on your own. That's why we turn to ready-made models like everyone else. But in doing so, we need to choose which 3D model we to use well. Especially if you downloading a model from SketchUp, there are objects that take their detail from photomesh technique instead of true modeling. They seem simply in your rendering and reduce photorealism of your rendering. Instead, the ones of the same model prefer the higher quality of 3D. Go to different sources. 3D Sky, CG Trader contains very high quality models. You can use them. Of course, you don't have to use paid models. They contain free models too. If your project has a high profit anyway, don't think about it. Let it go. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and not to forget subscribe if you enjoyed this video and comment below for this or future videos.